Everyone knows that one-of-a-kind person that always goes above and beyond.
We salute those that are kicking it up a notch.
Today on Su Vida.
Hey everybody, welcome to Su Vida. As you can see, we're still practicing social distancing.
Yes, JR, and I think we've had a lot of practice.
I think I'm going to call the coach and say, hey, let's call practice off early. There are people who do things well, and I like to think I'm one of them. Hi, I'm JR Cardenas.
And there are people who can take things to the next level, and I like to think I'm one of them. I'm Vanessa Ramirez.
Actually, I think we've all gone above and beyond at one point in our lives, but today we're highlighting people and businesses that consistently raise the bar.
And one of our favorites has to be Fairmount Scottsdale Princess.
Ooh, yes. Hey, just when we need it most, the princess is ready to help us all celebrate summer, so let's go.
Welcome to the Fairmount Scottsdale Princess, and happy summer. We're celebrating here in Arizona. Governor Ducey has worked hard with local businesses to develop protocols that abide by the CDC guidelines to reopen our pools, our restaurants, our spa, and our retail shops. And we're excited to welcome you back to now splash in one of our 6 sparkling pools. Last year, we renovated and reimagined the Princess Pool, which has been voted top 10 USA Today pool for decades here at the resort. And your families and kids, you won't want to miss Sonoran Splash with 2 200-foot water slides. Or maybe adults would like a little sanctuary away from the family and kids, so Sonoran Landing is your place to relax and chill out this summer. Maybe you want to dig your toes in the sand, so Sunset Beach, where we brought in 800 tons of white sand to create our own beach here in Arizona. And as we all know, on vacation, calories don't count, so we invite you to indulge in La Hacienda, voted one of Arizona's top Mexican restaurants. Or maybe you've been longing for a little sushi, something I haven't been able to make at home. Well, Toro, with its Pan-Latin restaurant and rum bar, is the perfect location to get some of Arizona's best sushi. Or maybe you want a butter poached steak from Bourbon Steak. Regardless of where you want to dine, we have 5 food and beverage outlets that you can have your own dine around here at the Princess. We have great values this summer. Sip, savor, and splash with a $100 resort credit that you can use towards food, beverage, spa, retail daily. $100 daily. And it's important for us at the Princess to give back to the community, so this next package does just that. It's called Free to Play, Free to Learn package, a $75 daily credit and an in-room movie, and a $10 donation to Computer to Kids through Cox Charities. Now's the perfect time at Well and Being Spa. They're offering 25% off their treatments and have some incredible Sparty deals. Most important to us is the safety of our guests and our employees. So we've introduced the Stay Well program to make sure that we're wearing masks, that we have sanitizer available, and we abide by setting up our spaces with social distancing in mind. We welcome you to come and stay well at the Princess.
You know, my family likes to go there at least twice during the summer. I really like the pools and the food and the drinks and the bars and everything. Really.
And I love Arizona's only white sand beach. It is so nice there.
Oh yeah, it is. The Princess definitely goes above and beyond when it comes to summer fun. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Su Vida and more fun right after this.
Su Vida is brought to you by Chicanos por la Causa. Join the cause for change.
Hey, welcome back to Su Vida. Today we're talking about people who do extraordinary things.
Like this artist. Lots of people create comic heroes, but comic heroes that teach history, that's taking it up a notch. Take a look at this.
Heroes of Color is an animated series that I created to help give my children a little bit more cultural education. I felt as a parent in their schooling, they weren't really including enough of Latino heroes, African American heroes, indigenous. So I sort of created this series to first help my children. And as a result, I saw the impact that it was actually having on other kids and adults. I'm a huge comic book collector, and several times I'll come to the office with my kids and we'll look through the comic books, and my son just randomly asked me how many black superheroes there were. And I was like, oh man, there's tons of them. So as we started looking through our books, we couldn't find any. I think I had one or two. I Googled heroes of color. And while I did get some heroes that came in, like superheroes, I actually started getting real people who had accomplished, remarkable things. And the interesting thing was these were people that I had never heard of. That's really when the series started to take shape.
The 369th, like other black units, were reassigned to 2 French divisions.
La France.
They spent a total of 191 straight days on the front lines, longer than any other American unit, black or white.
The first hero was actually a group. It was the Harlem Hellfighters, and it was an all-black military unit that served in World War I. You see the artwork coming to life as you watch the video, and it captures your attention. And so while you're captivated with the artwork, you're actually learning something about this individual or their achievements or whatever, a little piece of history. And it keeps you there long enough to understand what the person's obstacles were and how they overcame these obstacles.
Dr. Pantoja founded Aspira in 1961, a nonprofit organization dedicated to improving education in Latino communities.
My idea was I wanted to keep reaching people, so I decided to do a children's book called Little Heroes of Color. And this was going to be a way for me to continue to get the word out while I worked on the video series. It was published through Scholastic. They're global. The more colorful it looks, the more attractive and enticing it is. And while they're stuck on how beautiful it looks, as they start actually reading it, they start learning about, different cultures and different individuals from different ethnic backgrounds. Pretty much everything that I do with the artwork that I create is very focused on education. My company, Heroes of Color LLC, my tagline is educating through art. And that's it. Then that's exactly what it is.
I think what he's doing is so great. It's important for kids to see superheroes that look like they do.
Yeah, keep up the good work, David.
Yeah. Hey, we want you to meet another superhero of sorts, right, Vanessa? I mean, a superhero that is there when you need them, correct?
Yeah, Seven Caves Distillery heard the cry for help and they answered the call.
So the way this still works is this is a 28-gallon still with a 4-plate reflux column. I am Jeff Longenecker. I'm with 7 Cave Spirits. 7 Cave Spirits is a distillery here in San Diego, a craft distillery, founded on the principle of small batches of delicious booze. Our focus here are aged rums and gin. So these are really delicious, very fruit-forward juniper berries. These are fresh blood oranges, locally grown bare limes. My favorite part of the process is the creation. I love to sit and think about flavor. I wake up thinking about flavors in the morning. And when I get extremely awesome, fresh ingredients, it just inspires me to come in and just not mess them up. It's been a whirlwind, to be honest. I never in a million years expected to be producing and manufacturing thousands of gallons of hand sanitizer. The FDA issued guidance to craft distillers looking to do this. You have to register with the FDA, and here's your formula. But essentially, it's a formula of glycerin, denatured alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, and water. So my buddy Bill came up to my shop, and we formulated it. Then our phone started ringing. And every distiller's phones in San Diego and California and nationwide started ringing at the same time. The hand sanitizer world is its own thing. And yeah, that is difficult. I was on the phone this morning trying to source, 20,000 4-ounce bottles for a friend of mine who wants to give them away to seniors in our community. And just getting a hold of those right now is almost impossible. But it's busy, getting hand sanitizer into people who really need it. Firefighters, policemen, and it's already slowing down, which is good because that means people are starting to get it. The big guys are already catching up. I mean, our goal right now is to fulfill the reorders of customers that we've already, have already got. That's something a lot of us in the craft industry have wanted for a while. Just the ability, like wine and beer, to ship your alcohol. But we haven't had that right yet, and now we do. And that's been it's nice. With my basic stuff, with my shop, I can still get all the sugar I need. I can get grain. Last week, did a 7 Caves Zoom cocktail event. And we invited a bunch of people, and actually we asked if anybody wanted to come, and we had 70 screens of people with 2 people on each screen. It was a blast. We just made a few cocktails and talked shop. And this is about just bringing a community together. And that was fun. Bill and I are going to keep the hand sanitizer business going for as long as we need to, and then get back to making our booze. I'm working on it right now, as a matter of fact.
Wow, we want to thank 7 Caves and all the distilleries that switch over to making sanitizer when we need it the most.
Yes, but we're looking forward to the day where you can return back to doing what you do best. And Su Vida will be right back after this, so don't go anywhere.
Drive through your favorite Southern Arizona Dairy Queen location and check out the new Summer Blizzard menu. While there, don't forget to pick up a package of DQ treats like Dilly Bars. DQ happy, tastes good.
Welcome back to Su Vida. I'm Vanessa Ramirez.
And I'm JR Cardenas.
Today's show is all about people who go above and beyond.
Yes, they're an inspiration to all of us. Hey, Vanessa, how's this for raising the bar? At True Garden, they're growing food with less water and less land.
And no pesticides. Check this out.
One of the biggest problems I see is water is an issue around the world. 73% of the world is desert. That's crazy. So if we keep doing conventional farming, there's no way we'll be able to feed everybody in the world. I'm a registered pharmacist as well as a pharmacist. I love farming as well, I love food. When I look at it as a pharmacist, as I've done my consults on my patients, I realize that it goes back to nutrition. We have this foundation and it has all these cracks in it because we're not eating this diet that has any type of nutritional value when it comes to some of the produce that we're getting. Land is over-farmed, so it's missing a lot of the minerals and nutrients. So what is aeroponic farming? It's actually growing food vertically, which we use 90% less water, 90% less land as well. We can grow 10 times more vertically. As these plants are growing, the roots just hang vertically here, and you get your roots that just hang in the air, so we get faster growth. So I can grow typically a head of lettuce, kale within 21 to 26 days. Because it's being exposed, the roots are being exposed to oxygen all the time. We use up to 98% less water because we're recirculating that water and not losing it like traditional farming does. So in our nutrient solution, we have an A and B nutrient solution that's earth minerals and sea minerals, mined here in the US, that we put into that water solution. So that way we can give the plants good, great nutrition. So we have 70 plus essential minerals and nutrients in that water solution. So that way we can get a product that actually has some nutritional value. Unlike a lot of the produce that's coming to us in our grocery store that is missing 50% by the time it hits your plate. It's incredible. The USDA has done studies on that showing you've lost a lot of the nutritional value because it's been harvested so long ago. So here at True Garden, we're able to grow food, and we're growing food not only for restaurants, farmers markets, but we also support schools and food banks. So this isn't just a staged setting here, we're actually a commercial working farm. So we're selling farms all over the world now. When you think about growing 10 times more in the same amount of space with 90 to 90% less water, it's a very disruptive technology. So when I first saw this 8 years ago, I was like, oh, how's that ever going to replace traditional farming? well, I don't know if it's ever going to replace. It's going to be an addition to what we're doing, especially if we grow it in our own home. So it's intriguing to see how 8 years ago I took an idea, a concept, incorporated it, and then built a greenhouse. I'm really excited about offering people a healthier way to grow their own food. And that's what excites me about this.
Ah, that place, Vanessa, it's so cool.
Yeah, and they do tours. Check out True Garden on the internet.
Go ahead, we'll wait, and we'll be here when you're through. Hey, welcome back to Su Vida. Hey, you know, space has been in the news a lot lately, and my kids have been asking me a lot of questions. You know, questions that I really can't answer.
Well, if you and your kids want to learn more about space, the stars, and galaxies, there's no better place to stargaze than the Jim and Linda Lee Planetarium. Take a look.
There is this a little bit of a magical moment that happens in a planetarium. Oftentimes it might be the kid's first time being in a planetarium. When the lights go down and all of a sudden you see what's on the dome. You see the universe. It's this gasping experience. You hear the murmurings in the crowd, and well, I get to say, hey, welcome to the solar system. And we get to journey around, see the different planets. We get to go up close and see the mountains and valleys on Mars. We get to see the moons around Jupiter. It's one of those visual concepts in the planetarium where you have a lot of bright colors right in your face that you're able to interact with. I'm Eric Edelman, the Jim and Linda Lee Planetarium Coordinator, and essentially that means whatever's involved with the planetarium, I've got my nose in it, I'm there. We're here at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Prescott, Arizona, and so by its name, you might be able to tell already a little bit of what it's passionate about, aeronautics. But that's not all we do. We're very STEM-oriented, so we have a lot of degrees in that STEM field, and one of the big parts of this new STEM building that we're currently standing in here is that we want to sort of open up that knowledge a bit to the local public and beyond. If you want to learn a little bit more about what the Embry-Riddle students are doing, hey, come by to a planetarium show while you're here, walk through the building, see some of the exciting projects on display, and so it's very STEM oriented, and we want that STEM to be a part of the public consciousness here. In terms of making this planetarium a reality on campus, the person that had made that happen was the chancellor, Dr. Frank Ayers. As we were working to build this STEM building here, he wanted this planetarium to be the crown jewel, as it were, of the building itself. And one of the exciting things about planetariums these days is that we've gotten into digital projection systems. So it's a multi-pronged vision of enhancing the students' learning, bringing in the public and helping to foster a wonderful relationship between the community and Embry-Riddle, and also being a place for space and more for the K-12 students in the area. Most weekends we have free shows for the public where we just like to see people come on by and experience space with us. You got all these telescopes that are looking at the distant universe and getting us all this information that we can take to a planetarium and visualize in these unique ways. So it's this incredible collaboration between the scientific community and the scientific communicators that get what you see in planetariums to your eyes. People being in the planetarium, seeing this stuff, getting the same excitement I'm getting, I love that it's contagious. We're all experiencing space in such a unique way together.
From stars to guitars, Keith Kiefer is definitely someone who delivers the unexpected.
Yes, and his guitars are beautiful. Check out his one-of-a-kind works of art.
My name's Keith Kiefer. I'm the owner of Lunatic Friends Lutherie here in Bisbee, Arizona. I build unusual instruments, that's why I call it Lunatic Friends Lutherie. Building crazy instruments started out as a way to make more money on the street, getting tips, because people would walk by and when they see what I was playing, people that normally don't tip a street musician were giving me money. One day I said, man, I'd love it if I had something that had more of an acoustic sound. And I went to the swap meet and I found a Samsonite suitcase. And when I looked inside, I saw they were made out of really nice wood. So I said, I bet I could make a guitar out of that. My first week on the street playing my suitcase guitar made a lot better tips. And then, I had people offer to pay me money to build them. I didn't know I was going into business then. For a lot of years, I built them on my dining table in San Diego because I couldn't afford the rent on a shop. And when I found Bisbee, there was a creative explosion here. I was playing a gig in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and Seth Appel, the owner of Old Bisbee Coffee Roasters, came up and tipped me a pound of coffee and $10. So I started talking to him, and he was just bragging about where he was from, and I just like, wow, I've got to see this place. So I was on my way back from the Kerrville Folk Festival 3.5 years ago, and it was just a couple hours out of Bisbee, so I got to go look. And I got into town, and I just was blown away by the art culture of this town. And then I got asked to come play Side Pony Express Music Festival, and while I was here, I was mentioning to a friend of mine that it'd be really cool to have a shop here, and she smiled and walked me up to my window right here. I looked inside, my jaw hit the ground. I called the owner, and when he told me how much, I thought, I can afford that. I don't have to sell a thing, and I can afford that. So I moved. So here I am, 2 years in business in Bisbee now. And I think that it was what I was meant to do. It took me a long time to get here, but it's what I'm meant to do.
We hope we've inspired you to put forth your best effort today and every day.
And if not, well then, just sit back like us and watch the work of those who do.
Because in the famous words of Will Rogers, not everyone can be a hero. Some of us have to sit down on the curb and applaud when you go by.
That's right. We'll be your cheering section. So we'll see you next time on Su Vida.